Hi, my name is Melissa Palomino, and I am going to be reporting on the board meeting that took place on April 21st of 2026. I attended the board meeting at Palmdale School District. It is a school district located in Palmdale, and it has over 20,000 students um, enrolled into their district, and that is from Head Start preschool all the way up until seniors in high school. So it is preschool all the way through high school and elementary, middle school in between. These board meetings take place every 2 weeks. The items that are addressed at these board meetings include action items, settlements, claims, reports, calendar items, contracts, revisions, policies, amendments, agreements, contract proposals. The president of the board is Mr. Ralph Velador. We have 5 members as well as a student trustee council member. The meeting was starting off with a roll call by the superintendent, Dr. Maldonado. The president then motioned to approve the agenda along with the topics, and the voting is live, so each board member is on a automatic prompt and they can click approve or not approve. It goes green light, red light. The action items were approved for this to move forward on the agreement of the agenda. It started off with a performance by one of the dual immersion schools within the school district. It's called Los Amigos, and they had their students present a mariachi performance. That was then followed by an accountability progress report from the school principal, Dr. Diaz. Following her school's progress report, they turned it over to Oak Tree, where their students performed a march dance. That was then followed by a student who addressed his change and accountability for himself, moving from his old school to this Oak Tree Community Day School, stating how he has a father who's in and out of prison and how the school has taught him to use manners, to not use profanity, how to express his feelings better, and how he's improving himself at Oak Tree Community Day School. That was then followed by an accountability progress report from the school principal at Oak Tree, Mr. Gatlin, and he presented his school implementing a Boys to Men program, how his students learn how to change a tire, how to have mock interviews when they go out looking for jobs in the future. They take field trips at colleges so they can see themselves and other students who have achieved that goal by being enrolled in college. That was then followed by the presentation for Volunteer of the Year at a site, which was then followed by District Volunteer of the Year. While they are presenting these volunteers, they are engaging with the audience by asking the volunteers to come up, take photos, bring their families up. The board members, along with the superintendent and district members, they shake hands with them. This was then followed by Dr. Ross, who is one of the directors for community engagement. He introduced the mathletes and their achievements, and so those students got to come up and take photos with the board members. Intercession then happened until 6:30. It went a little later because at 6:35 is when they reported the motions to continue. So they went into item 10C1 that was passed and item 10C2 that was rejected. Those weren't discussed in great detail. They just went by them pretty quickly. Dr. Campbell, who works for the school district on that board, went over some settlement items and they were both accepted. There were 2 settlement items. This was then passed over to the student council member, Clarissa Guerrero, who shared a report about the middle schools right now competing in soccer and how she's on the team and how she encourages student participation and community engagement to support those students at those events. Dr. Danny Kanga reported the weekend events where there was a Renaissance fair that was held at one of the middle schools, and that was followed by Dr. Campbell reporting an art show that had taken place and a food giveaway that was going to be taken place this upcoming weekend. It was then passed over to Mr. Beardsley, who is part of the school district in human resources. He reported the passing of a teacher and gave out his thoughts and prayers to her family. She was a retired psychologist who worked at multiple schools within the district. During her time, she retired back in 2024. This was then followed with Dr. Ufandu, who recognized the performances that were presented during the board meeting, which included the mariachi band, but she really felt that the students at Oak Tree who are in that Boys to Men program and who performed that march really touched her, and she praised the Community Day School Oak Tree for implementing these programs and supporting their students who come from different backgrounds and their principal to continue doing the work, and that it was much appreciated. She also wanted to recognize Title 28 being involved with the music performance and how we are continuing to expand having music in the classroom and at different schools. She also discussed the budget for next school year is being discussed and being worked on. It was then passed over to Dr. Esker, who extended congrats to the Black Knowledge Bowl that had taken place and scholars who participated in the Black Knowledge Bowl, as well as the students who participated in the art show. She wanted to say that she's looking forward to the Cyber Quest competition that is coming in May. She then handed it over to Dr. Maldonado, who is our superintendent at Palmdale School District, and he was thanking the student council member, Ms. Guerrero, for creating a state testing video that encourages the students at different schools to do well on their state testing exam. And she hopes that other schools are utilizing that video so that they can achieve better scores than they did previous years. Dr. Maldonado also presented that PAX, which is the Palmdale Academy Charter School, it is a high school for the school district, is having their first gym almost completed, and they will have a ribbon cutting ceremony in August due to the fact that they have graduation coming up and they would like the gym to be focused on graduation. Dr. Luke then presented. He is a Palmdale School District employee, and he shared the Black Knowledge Bowl results and the students' success in competing in that event. It then went over to item 15. Dr. Maldonado discussed the Panorama Education, which is a program that houses data, and how that was going to be discussed and presented by Dr. Zurbano, who works for Palmdale School District. And she shared a presentation on what this program would be, how it would implement data from each school site, from students, testing, and if anybody had further questions, that they could let her know what those questions are and she would address them, because she is the one who is doing the research behind how this program will benefit the Palmdale School District. Item B was presented by Dr. Ufando, who works in budget for the Palmdale School District, and she discussed from what she stated that the board meeting next time was on May 5th was to discuss adding more board members to those budget meetings, and more items were then presented. The president of the board, Ralph, had more items to present. 17B was approved all the way to 17F3A. Those policies were approved, and budget contracts for different schools needing different facilities and maintenance were approved. Two of those included two different elementary schools, Joshua Hills for a portable restroom to be built, as well as Summerwin Elementary, a portable restroom to be built. Each of those budgets were over $300,000. Mr. Beardsley from Palmdale School District Human Resources shared praise for Administrative Appreciation Week, and he would like to proclaim April 19th to, I believe, April 24th was the week for Admin Appreciation Week, and we would have one day, I believe April 22nd, which is also Earth Day, to have Admin Appreciation Day. And it was formally Secretary Appreciation, but he stated that we have a lot of administration clerks, administrative clerks that do all that work, and they all should be praised. So that was added to the calendar and was approved unanimously. The president of the board continued approving standards on revision policies. Once those were all completed, he handed over the podium to their CSEAU union president, Mr. Michael Oak. Mr. Michael Oak had shared his feelings on how the students presented their performances. He's from Canada, so he was not familiar with mariachi, but he did say that he praised the work that each school is doing. The mariachi program is doing phenomenal at most of the dual immersion schools, as well as the Palmdale Academy Charter High School, how those high school students perform immensely, and they do a fantastic job and do multiple events in the community. And he also stated how Oak Tree Community Day School has positive results and that the staff there are highly praised for the work that they do. He also shared some concerns with some of the changes that were happening without meeting with those concerned classifications, such as the custodians, and as well as having concerns about outsourcing other employees from other contract agencies, such as not having enough staff within our school district to cover classrooms needing aides, and how those are being sourced out to other agencies. It was then followed by the PETA union president for Teachers Association. So this was the certificated side, and she just presented that she's looking forward to negotiations this year and how she knows that everybody is working towards a goal, and hopefully they can meet somewhere in the middle. Closing comments were then discussed with Nancy Smith, who I had the pleasure of getting a photo with. She discussed how she was in Washington. She spoke with Congress regarding the IDEA, AI, CTE, and other concerns that she would like to address with Congress in person again, if they could come out to the Palmdale School District and meet with them. It was then followed by other board member, Mr. Hunt, who shared his praise on the student achievements with the Black Knowledge Bowl. Mrs. Vega, also on the board, praising the students for their performance, followed by Mrs. Zulu Deal, praising the students as well. She just shared how she thought it was phenomenal that they did such amazing work. And also, President Velador closed the board meeting with having a motion to adjourn, which was then approved. I did also want to mention that what was also presented was Dr. Campbell sharing that she also wanted to praise those students on their art show, and she wanted to recognize how good that they did and how she wanted those students' artwork to be displayed within the school district office. So it was good to see how the board members, including the district board members, how they all engaged with the audience, how they all really sat and appreciated those performances, the progress reports that were presented by the principals, the student achievements with the Mathletes, the Black Knowledge Bowl, and the events that they actually did in the community, such as the Renaissance Fair and the art show, and all the work that goes into that from their staff, and having the Administrative Appreciation Week be added to the calendar for recognition. It was important for me to see these students go up there in front of a filled boardroom, and there were people standing, there were parents, there were staff members there. They were all there to support these students, and they brought flowers for them. It felt really special for the community to see what's happening within their children's school. So for the mariachi group, they are in a K through 8th grade school. So those kids are learning these instruments. There is a harp, there's a guitar, a violinist, and they're all learning these instruments at such a young age. So hopefully when they do move on, hopefully they go to the Palmdale Academy Charter School and can continue the mariachi program there. I thought that was wonderful, as well as the program, the Boys to Men program that is being implemented at Oak Tree Community Day School. Preparing these young children who have maybe not had the guidance at other schools, find it at this school in particular, was just moving to see this student share his story. And he was so little, he must have been maybe 8 years old, sharing how he's changed his path and how he's moving forward, and he's a work in progress still, but he had made great improvement. Many attendees were filled in that boardroom. It's a boardroom that is located within the Palmdale School District. It does not have enough capacity for all the people that want to attend, but it then filters out once the children leave, their parents go with them, or their guardians, whoever's with them. And it was nice to see the engagement that the board members do with them, how they take pictures, how they ask for the volunteers to include their children in the pictures. And that was just really touching. These board meetings are quite long, but they do hit a lot of notes. What I would have liked to see maybe was more time asking maybe union concerns that were presented by Mr. Michael Oak. He had shared there were concerns, and we would just on this side like to see that there's a resolution for those concerns, and that employees on both sides are able to meet in the middle and come to an agreement. The board will meet again on Cinco de Mayo, and they will be approving other action items. They do have their board agenda posted online. They record their board agenda meetings as well, and that's posted, and I believe they have minutes posted, but they also have their board members listed there as well. Thank you for listening to my report.